We begin now with security matters. The Nigeria Police Force has killed 7 suspected kidnappers and arrested 5 others linked to armed robbery and vehicle theft, following coordinated operations in Delta and Kaduna states. Now, according to Force Public Relations Officer Olumuyiwa Adejobi, the raids were based on solid intelligence and strong community support. In Delta State, a joint team of police and vigilantes engaged suspects near the Abraka Railway on the 4th of June, killing 4 and recovering an AK-47 rifle with 13 rounds of ammunition. Now, another operation near Irereni Junction saw 3 more suspects shot dead with another loaded rifle recovered. Meanwhile, in Kaduna, police arrested 5 suspects believed to be part of an armed robbery syndicate involved in vehicle theft. Now, some of the stolen vehicles were traced to Abuja and Nasarawa and have since been recovered. Inspector General of Police Kayode Egbetokun praised the swift actions and called for continued public cooperation to bolster national security efforts. Meanwhile, the Kaduna State Police Command has arrested 27 suspected hoodlums during a coordinated security sweep in the Kawo area following the tragic killing of a senior naval officer, Lieutenant Commander M. Buba. Now, Buba, who was a student at the Armed Forces Command and Staff College in Jaji, was fatally stabbed around 5:20 a.m. on Sunday, the 8th of June, while trying to fix a flat tire near the Kawo flyover. According to police spokesperson DSP Mansir Hassan, the officer was approached by an unidentified man who demanded his phone. Now, when Buba refused, he was stabbed in the chest with a locally made knife. Bystanders at the scene reportedly overpowered the attacker and killed him on the spot. Buba was then rushed to Manel Hospital but was pronounced dead on arrival. Police have clarified that those arrested are not directly linked to Buba's murder, but are believed to be part of wider criminal activity in the area. The Commissioner of Police, CP Rabiu Mohammed, commended the synergy among security agencies and reiterated the command's commitment to making Kaduna safer. Now, in the aftermath of renewed attacks on communities in Gwe West local government area of Benue State, concerns remain over the rising human and economic toll. While families and businesses continue to count their losses, residents are demanding more decisive action to bring the violence to an end. News Central's Sagir Ibrahim reports from NACA headquarters of Gwe West in Benue State.
Gwe West, like many parts of Benue, has been repeatedly attacked by suspected armed herders.
Ordinarily, the journey from Makurdi to Naka in Gwe West is about 40 kilometers. But due to the growing insecurity along the direct route, we had to take a much longer 80-kilometer detour to access the area, a route many residents now consider the only safe passage to access these areas.
The most recent attack left multiple families in mourning and farmlands across the area abandoned.
Everything now has returned to ground zero. We are already facing a disastrous humanitarian crisis. There are terrorists masquerading as herdsmen. They must be dealt with in lines with the law.
The chairman of the local government, however, insists the situation can only be resolved if the military is given clear directives by the federal government.
If the army are given the rights and the marching orders, 10 military guys alone can finish this problem in Gwe West in less than 2 days. Even the governor cannot order them. It is only the federal government, so they should help us. Let's push these people out of here.
Others have described the scale of violence as nothing short of genocide.
The killings here are more like genocidal killings. I know it's as a result of climate change, but it has not been well manned. We of recent got to know that the soldiers don't have the mandate to either tame, man, or kill the people who are killing us.
Oyuba Jacob Liambe, a survivor of the recent attacks, now squats in Naka town. He paints a grim picture of how life is across the local government.
All we could do was to make efforts to escape from the sporadic shootings. Benue State and Gwe West in particular is an agrarian state, so that has been our major source of income, and that's why Benue State is the food basket of the nation. And at the moment, we don't think the food basket of the nation, if nothing is done in rebuilding us, we still stand. The government is actually trying, but it's not doing enough.
The help is not enough, because the government they are promising us is just a quite promising. We are not seeing their help at the moment.
But the effects extend beyond the violence itself. Back in Makurdi, grain merchants and traders say food supply has dropped while prices continue to rise, a ripple effect of the farmers abandoning their farms due to the insecurity.
You cannot get yam from the villagers again in the hand of the middlemen or middlewomen. And because of that, it's very expensive. Those people that did the storage are the one bringing out for us to buy. Going to the village now to buy things, we cannot afford to go there because your life, you are not sure of coming back.
The collective call is for strong political will and urgent federal government intervention to restore peace and stability.
The people of Gwe West and Apa local government are still counting their losses and waiting for justice, waiting for safety, and waiting for real government action. In Naka, Gwe West, in Benue State, for News Central, Sagir Ibrahim.
News Central, Sagir Ibrahim on the sad update on the attacks in Benue State, Gwe West especially. Now, the alleged disappearance of 26 children in Agbaro Ugeli North local government area of Delta State has sparked widespread concern and protests among residents. The children, primarily aged between 3 and 10 years old, have gone missing over the past 8 months, with many families still awaiting their safe return. Meanwhile, Security Council meeting is currently ongoing at the local government area secretariat in Ugeli.
Executive Chairman is called as a further deliberation on our missing children. 3 of our children in Agbaro. The Governor, His Excellency, Right Honorable Sheriff Oborewori, gave me direct charge to take control of the matter. After that viral video, where our women who felt helpless went to the street to demonstrate about the incessant missing of our children in Agbaro.
Our correspondent Austin Azu is on ground to bring us updates on the development. Hi, Austin. Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us. What is the latest update on the missing 26 children? What are they saying in that area?
Good afternoon, Blessing. We are currently at the local government headquarters, Ugeli North local government area of Delta State. Behind us, there is a closed-door security meeting ongoing between the local government chairman, that's Jaro Egbo, and the mothers of the alleged children, alongside with security agencies. We have a routine of security agencies ranging from the police, the DSS, the Operation Delta Swift, and so on and so forth, including the DPOs from within these divisions that governs the Ugeli North local government area. It's going to be quite extensive because this is the first meeting that the council chairman will be holding with the families and security agencies. Don't forget that Agbaro has been recording series of disturbing cases of disappearance of 26 children for the past 8 months. And this has created a lot of concerns. Even the women last week Thursday came out to the streets to protest over this mysterious disappearance of their children. And not only that, they called on the state governments, called on the relevant authorities to come to their aid to enable them to reunite with their families. However, just like what the constitutions empower the government even at the local area, is to provide security and welfare for the people. And they are anxiously waiting. Most of the women we saw from their faces, they are actually pains. Most of them have been crying all through this period. Some of them even traveled away from Agbaro to go to their various villages to go and seek for solution. We don't know if this meeting will be able to provide alternative solution to what they are looking for. Obviously, the children they are looking for, they are not here. But one thing lies in the hands of the security agencies to help to curb those areas, to help to investigate and be able to get their children back to them. One thing that women will be looking forward to hear from this meeting is the assurance, once again, that their children will be found and they are going to reunite with their family members. And of course, they are going to ensure that such issues happening within Agbaro and environs does not repeat itself again. Another great concern is that what is the mystery behind the disappearances of these children? Now, the age bracket is between 3 to 10 years. What could serve as, what could be responsible? What purposes are these so-called people involved in stealing these children? What is their mission? Of course, no one has been able to provide us these answers. But we look forward to get more of these so that we'll be able to update you and our audience about the developing stories in Agbaro and Ughelli North precisely.
So, Austin, I'm sure that I speak for a lot of people when I ask, is this not a case of negligence? 26 children have been missing in the last 8 months or thereabout, and nothing has been done. When we talk about underserved communities, I do not think that it should affect the security of these lives as well. These are children between 4 to 10 years old, and clearly it is the same pattern. So there's probably a reason to it, probably rituals, child trafficking. There's so many possibilities. Why has this not been escalated? I know that a man did mention that he spent hundreds of thousands allegedly trying to look for his child. Another family has lost about 2 of their kids. What is the police doing about it? Why has the issue not been escalated? Why does it seem like it's nothing?
First, let's look at the issue of parenting. From the people we interviewed, they talked about that a case, for instance, is that of the 6-year-old boy, Eriga, who came back from school, and after eating his lunch, he just went out to go and play with his peers. Of course, Agbaro is an agrarian community. It's not really an urban setting, for instance. You have a lot of children who play around with their peers and so on and so forth. So obviously they just left those children for them just to hang around with their peers. And of course, from the place they took us to, that the young boy went to play is not far from the house, about 2 poles thereabout. And there's something that was striking for what they said, that each time the boy is thirsty, he always runs back to the house to come and drink water. After 1 hour, the child did not run back, and the mother quickly went to look for this child. And this disappearance of these children happens almost every day and almost every week. As this mother is crying, looking for her lost baby, her child, or whatever, another mother is elsewhere crying. So this cry actually triggered the protest that occurred few days ago. However, if you come back to talk about the security and the operatives and models of operandi in Agbaro and environment, some people have actually said that they went down straight to the police stations to go and lay their complaint. But after laying their complaint here, however, they will assure them that yes, their children will be reunited with them. But after days, months, they have not seen their children. So what are the security agencies doing about this? So at the end of this security meeting, we'll be able to unravel the efforts put in place by the security agency to curb this incessant disappearance of children. And this thing is not peculiar to Agbaro alone. For the fact that Agbaro is dominating the media space, other communities have equally experienced this. But the question is that why haven't they gone out publicly to come and say it, so that concerned individuals, including the government, will look into it, just like what the governor is trying to look into this issue that has bedeviled Agbaro for the past few months. So it's obvious that everyone must speak out, and not only that, everyone must be everyone must be security conscious about what is happening within his area and his locality. It's a big concern to all Nigerians because 26 children cannot just be mixing without one asking questions about them. They are not animals. They are human beings. Of course, among them we have official leaders, among them we have official presidents, among them we have those who will take over matter of leadership, and among them probably we have a journalist who will speak truth to power, just like what we are doing, fearless reporting.
Okay. All right, Austin Azu, thank you so much for giving us the updates, and definitely we're going to hear what they have to say about it and what the outcome of this meeting would be eventually. Thank you for joining us. It's time to go on a short break now, and when we come back, PDP stakeholders demand zoning of presidential candidate position to South. We'll bring you the details of this and more when we return. Join us again. Many thanks for staying with us on the news. Now, away from security matters, ahead of June 12th, Democracy Day in Nigeria, residents of Rivers State say they have no reasons to mark the day following the suspension of the legislative and executive arms of government. Now, while some residents are calling for the reinstatement of the governor and lawmakers in the spirit of the sacrifices characterizing the June 12th Democracy Day, others lamented that there has been a sharp decline in economic activities and general livelihood in the state. Joining me now to discuss this is Bani Nwisabari, the Chairman, National Youth Council of Nigeria, Rivers State Chapter. Bani, thank you so much for joining us on the news this afternoon. How would you respond to the growing sentiment among Rivers State residents that there is no reason to celebrate Democracy Day? I mean, given the current suspension of the executive and the legislative arms of government.
Thank you for having me. I am Nwisabari Bani, the Chairman, National Youth Council of Nigeria, Rivers State Chapter. And on the subject matter, first of all, I want to say that Rivers people are very much happy and ready to celebrate the 26-year uninterrupted democracy in Nigeria. And we are prepared, the people are prepared. You don't expect a very minute voice. There might be, this is democracy, like, you know, everybody must not say a particular thing. People have the right to express themselves. But to be very sincere with you, we are on the ground and we are having direct conversation with the people. Everybody is happy with the current status of the states, coming from where we have found ourselves in the past for over 2 years, where everything was grinded on the altar of political crisis. And we don't have total peace currently in Rivers State, but the peace infrastructure of the state is being improved upon by the current administrator, Peter Bass. And the youth are collaborating to ensure that peace will return. But to say that Rivers people are not prepared and ready for celebration of Democracy Day, that's not true. We have disturbing situations where some few persons who feel that their interests have not been properly captured by the emergency room are seeking every slight opportunity to raise their ugly heads above the water. But the true situation in Rivers State is that Rivers youth, Rivers people are ready to celebrate the Democracy Day, which is a blessing to all of us. And we also want to say, some people are saying that because they feel that Mr. President's declaration of emergency rule does not support democracy. That's not true. President Tinubu never at any point in time suspended democracy in Rivers State. He only intervened in the long political crisis in the states. And he said, to put that straight, he did not suspend the arm of government, which was properly functioning. That is the judiciary. The judiciary was excluded. That's to tell you that democracy is still in practice. But just to name the crisis that would have engulfed the oil-rich region, the oil-rich states, a major contributor to the national economy, to be borne down, to be, you know, the president swing into action, and a lot of persons, few persons though, who are loyal to the suspended executive governor. But let me put this, because many people will always feel that the president's intervention was decided or have personal interests. Like I will say, the Supreme Court, which is the highest court of the land, once said in her judgment that there have not been democracy in the states. We have had the governor, Simari Fubara, acting as a dictator, and which is even more worse. So it was in the best interest of the state that the president swung into action to ensure that we are not thrown into a state that is irredeemable, a state of chaos or another civil war, when political actors have refused to yield to rules of engagement of polity, the rules of engagement in governance. Governance has since collapsed in Rivers State since inception for over 2 years. It's not other news. So to say that we are not prepared for Democracy Day celebration is a lie from the pit of hell, because every part of the state is working stronger and getting prepared for the day of celebration that is to come June 12th. You see the colors, you see the... Though despite this, we also know that few persons will be selling rhetorics, will be selling the marketing the state, making it look like, oh, this is the worst thing. No, that's not true. We have had interactions with the people. We have heard them, and they have expressed their satisfaction with the peace we currently enjoy. The palpable fear that was in the atmosphere has since begun to disappear as a result of the approach of the SOA administrator, as a result of the emergency rule. The SOA administrator have actually, people felt that, in fact, they most criticized this emergency rule, saying that there was no need, that they had fear that the military is going to take over and going to do a lot of mayhem. As we have it today, it's even better. We are even experiencing better leadership under this SOA administrator than even under the previous governor, Simari Fubara. That's the truth. But you know, some persons whose pockets have been cut short as a result of benefiting from the crisis that has rocked states, there has not been any development. For example, you hear a suspended commissioner of information coming to say that the SOA administrator should not do anything to some guy farm that has been moribund for years. These are people that have been in power with all the resources, with all the support of the people. They have not been able to revamp it. Okay. And the SOA administrator have come in the need. And none of this is so. There is peace in Rivers State. Okay, so here's like that are the people. Okay, so Bani, here's one question that I have to ask you. If you had just one message to give to the national leaders on behalf of the youth in Rivers State this Democracy Day, what will that message be? What would you say, not as a politician, but as a son of the soil? Well, as a son of the soil, I want to enjoy all Rivers youth. To one, not to be used as tool in the hand of politicians to perpetrate violence, crime, or whatsoever, because their children are not even here with us. They are schooling abroad. That's the message. And two, let me say this. Youth should see the infrastructure of the state as their own, protect it wholeheartedly. Three, I want all youths in Rivers State to contribute their own quota to the peace infrastructure of the states through support for President Tinubu, because we have seen his reforms, we have seen his decisions, their deliberate steps towards reviving the economy. This is the only time in the history of this country where policies are made at the highest level of governance, which is the federal government, that affects you directly. For example, the student deal that gives students the opportunity to go to school even without someone to cater for them. So a lot of policies, development, the oil subsidy that we had that was gone, people say, oh, we are going to die. Today, we are now beginning to see that the policies of Mr. President is now beginning to match in accordance with the desires and the yearnings of the people. So the price of PMS are beginning to drop down, and life is returning. All we are asking is that they should be patient with this government. All right. While we contribute infrastructure that will give room for development and investment. All right, Bani Owisabari, thank you so much. Chairman, National Youth Council of Nigeria, Rivers State Chapter. We appreciate your time and, of course, the passion with which you speak
And I'm hoping that those in the, in the right places here, as you have voiced your concerns. Thank you once again.
Thank you.
Now to politics. Stakeholders of the People's Democratic Party from all 36 states of the Federation have demanded the zoning of the presidential candidate position for the upcoming 2027 general elections to the southern part of the country to end the crisis rocking the party. In a communique read by the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, after several hours of closed-door deliberations, they also demanded the reinstatement of Samuel Anyanwu as the duly elected National Secretary of the party. The FCT minister also added that actions are necessary to end the drift of the party, which has continued to face one crisis after another since the last general elections.
We have painstakingly discussed here today, and we have come up with some resolutions that will be a communique to our party faithfuls. The stakeholders and concerned leaders drawn from the various states of the Federation took a deep and strong view of the situation in our party and came to the following conclusions. 1. The seemingly intractable crisis in the party is as a result of the inexplicable refusal of a few to adhere to the party constitution, with particular reference to section 36(1) B and C, section 47(3)(5) and section 48(1)(I, and the definitive Supreme Court judgment regarding the position of the office of the National Secretary of the party. The eminent stakeholders and concerned leaders are alarmed that the party is an inevitable path to self-annihilation. The PDP eminent stakeholders and concerned leaders resolve as follows. 1. That to finally arrest the inexorable drift towards extinction in our party, the party must, without further delay, respect the judgment of the Supreme Court. We therefore unequivocally reaffirm Senator Sam Anyanwu as the duly elected and substantive National Secretary of our great party. In the spirit of fairness, inclusion, federal character principles, and respect for our party constitution, the party must make an unequivocal pronouncement zoning its presidential candidate to the south in the 2027 election.
Now, President Bola Tinubu has met with the former governor of Ekiti State, Ayo Fayose, at his private residence located in Ikoyi, Lagos. While speaking to pressmen after the meeting, Fayose says that his visit was personal, but also expressed his views on the recent political party defections from major opposition parties to the ruling All Progressives Congress across the country.
Well, let me first of all clear this. Ayo Fayose will not move from PDP to any political party, not even APC. It's within the choices of those who are chosen to move. Some said they saw what the president is doing. Some said they believe that the party is in trouble. And without doubt, the PDP is in trouble. And that's the gospel truth. And I believe that if they don't quickly take steps, the party in itself will become carcass. That is the truth. I can't speak for the people moving, but I want to tell you that if nothing drastic is done about the PDP, the party will become carcass.
12 federal lawmakers, including 2 Akwa Ibom senators and 9 House of Reps members, have defected to the APC, joining Governor Umar Eno, who has also dumped the PDP. This followed similar moves by Edo's Neda Imaswen and Nasarawa's Ahmed Wadada. The APC claimed it's working to win over 4 more PDP governors. Governor Eno said his defection was driven by alignment with the center after months of consultation. Meanwhile, the APC has declared Akwa Ibom a clean sweep as more state lawmakers reportedly prepare to join the PDP. However, described Eno's action as betrayal, but insists the party remains strong in states like Bauchi and Taraba. President Tinubu has been seen following the defections as political realignments intensify ahead of 2027. Now in Kano State, the royal feud between the ancient city's emirs is anything but over. Aminu Bayero and Muhammad Sanusi II held separate traditional events to celebrate Eid after the Nigeria police cancelled the annual Durbar festival to de-escalate tensions between the two. News Central's correspondent Emmanuel Bagudu has the details.
The Nasarawa Palace, the seat of authority of the 15th Emir of Kano, Aminu Ado Bayero, where supporters loyal to the deposed Emir thronged to watch this traditional kickboxing event, an alternative for their revered Hawan Salah, also called Salah Durbar.
To entertain the people, to encourage our local boxers, in which we are partnering with them to become international boxers.
On the other hand, the 16th Emir of Kano, Muhammad Sanusi II, was received at the State Government House in an elaborate ceremony, a carnival-like atmosphere, however, with no horse riding due to the warning from the police. Sanusi was received by the Kano State Deputy Governor Aminu Gorzu on behalf of the Governor Abba Yusuf, who is out of the country for Hajj. It was a reception with mixed feelings as the Emir recalled all the challenges he has been facing right from the day he was announced as the 14th Emir of Kano. The Deputy Governor of the state, Aminu Gorzu, and the State Commissioner for Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs expressed their displeasure at the continuous interference of the federal government on the state affairs, including the continuous cancellation of the annual Salah Durbar, an event they say has generated a lot of revenue for the state in the past.
Soke wannan hawa da ake yi wanda ita kanta Majalisar Ɗinkin Duniya ta mai da shi UNESCO Cultural Heritage wanda duk duniya an san shi kuma shekara biyu kenan ba a samu ana yin wannan abu. Mu a local government muna asara da ɗimbin yawa, muna asara kudin shiga waɗannan mutane na waje da suke zuwa suke kawo wa Kano. A nan ne nake ganin lokaci ya zo da ya kamata in fara neman abin da ake kira reparation.
For now, the impasse between the two factional emirs continue as Ado Bayero continues his function as emir, receiving protection from the federal government, while Muhammad Sanusi II also remains at the Kofar Kudu Palace, as both royal fathers await the judgment of the Supreme Court, expected to declare one of them as the authentic emir of Kano. In Kano for News Central, Emmanuel Bagudu.
And now our correspondent Emmanuel Bagudu joins me from Kano State to speak more on the development. Emmanuel, thank you so much for being here. What can you tell us about the royal feud and also the Durbar cancellation?
Yes, it's a very dicey situation. Of course, while we have a dethroned emir having a field day, continuing his function in his space, gathering all his supporters, carrying out a function of a full emir. You also have the reinstated emir out there who is being backed by the state government, not able to, carry out some functions such as the official Hawan Salah, talking about the Hawan Dabba. And of course, that is a terrorist activity, that is investor-friendly activity that has been happening in the state for years, and the state government actually made it clear that it is actually, they have included that in their budget, and they have made it clear that they are going to fund their budget from their ISALA, which is a tourist event, have generated a lot of IGR for them, talking about internally generated revenue for them to be able to fund that budget, which is now a problem to them, and that for 2 years now, this has not happened. And then that has been so devastating for them, and then they are now confused that they may be forced to ask for a reparation or rather a compensation from the federal government so that they will be able to, fund their budget. And on the other hand, of course, we've seen the deposed emir, that's the 15th emir of Adoberu, going ahead, to organize a traditional kickboxing match for his, for him more relevant in the state because he still has supporters. So that has been happening, and then that makes the whole situation more dicey. And the state government is a little bit, confused on how to go about things. But they are made it clear that the next move is to seek for compensation, so that the money they have lost so far so good, as a result of the cancellation of this Daba, will be paid to them by the federal government. Yeah.
All right, Emmanuel Bagudu, thank you so much for joining us. We'll definitely see how that story pans out. Thanks for staying with us. Now we go to South Africa, where a memorial service is currently taking place at the Roman Catholic Church in Pretoria for Zambia's former president, Edgar Lungu. He passed away in Pretoria, South Africa, while undergoing treatment for a recurring health condition. The Zambian government has declared a period of national mourning, ordering all flags to be flown at half-mast until 14th of June. Entertainment activities have also been suspended in honor of the late leader. Now, Lungu served as Zambia's president from 2015 to 2021 before being succeeded by the current president, Hakainde Hichilema. News Central's Bongani Siziba is now at the memorial and joins us live with more. Bongani, hello, thank you for joining us. Could you give us more update on the memorial service currently going on?
A very good afternoon, and good afternoon to our viewers. We are coming live from the Roman Catholic Cathedral in Pretoria, where a memorial service is underway to honor the life of this former Zambian president, Edgar Lungu. Today, family, friends, South Africans and delegates have gathered to pay their tribute to a man who once led Zambia with conviction and dedication. From each speaker, those that have spoken, they've spoken passionately about our President Lungu's legacy, his service to Zambia, his commitment to his people. The love and the inspiration are for those who knew him best. But while the atmosphere here is of unity and remembrance, we have some of the Zambians who are here just to speak about the legacy that he left behind and the memorial, the funeral service that is to come. Let me just bring in someone here from the family, from the organization, the party, just to speak about the legacy that President Lungu has left.
Thank you very much for having me, and I want to take this opportunity to appreciate the reception that is being exhibited here. And I want to say the legacy that this man leaves is a legacy that leaves a test of time. He is a man that upheld love, peace, and unity. We remember his legacy of being a leader who exhibited humility in leadership, which is equal to none. This is a man who governed the country with wisdom and compassion. And we celebrate a life yet again.
And how are Zambians mourning him here in South Africa and also back home?
Zambians mourn a hero, a pillar of democracy, and they cannot wait to pay their last respect to this great man.
We also understand that there is a cloud that is hanging whereby is he being given the state funeral? What is going to happen? Can you tell us the funeral arrangements?
Like our Secretary General has indicated, we are waiting for them to give an official statement concerning the process in which we all have to wait and be guided.
So when is the body leaving for Zambia?
The Secretary General would be in a position to guide us.
Thank you so much for your time. You just heard it there. I also had an opportunity to speak to some Zambians who are here to mourn former President Edgar Lungu. Most of them are talking about how he united Zambians, how he loved Zambians, and they are here just to mourn that man. Also, they spoke about the legacy that he is leaving behind, and many of them have spoken about the time when he was the president from 2015 up until 2021, the legacy that he's going to leave behind. But there's no denying that and still a debate that is going around that the former president was denied treatment when he was still alive several times when he wanted to leave the country just to come here to South Africa to seek for treatment. But that doesn't take away the contributions that he made for Zambian people, the contributions that he made for his people. But as the debate or as this funeral continues, we have to see what happens. Like you heard that the secretary of his party is going to give a briefing on what is going to happen, especially about his funeral. The question is he going to get the state funeral? But as Zambians prepare to bid farewell to its former leader, the world is also watching. From me, Bongani Siziba in Pretoria, it's back to you in the studio.
Thank you so much, Bongani Siziba, for the update. Now to more stories. Tensions are rising in Nairobi after protesters stormed a mortuary demanding an autopsy for a 31-year-old Albert Ojwang who died while in police custody. Now, Ojwang was found unconscious in a cell at Nairobi's Central Police Station on the 7th of June. He was later pronounced dead at a hospital. Police say he sustained fatal injuries after allegedly hitting his head against a wall. But the official account has triggered public outrage, while growing calls for a full investigation into the circumstances of his death. Kenya's police chief confirmed that Ojwang had been arrested for allegedly criticizing a senior officer, a revelation that's fueling concern over police conduct, freedom of expression, and the treatment of detainees. The demand for transparency highlights mounting pressure on law enforcement to uphold human rights and ensure accountability. Now to sports. Nigeria's Taiwo Mati was the first player eliminated from the men's singles at the WTT Contender Skopje 2025 after 2 losses on Monday. He narrowly lost 3-2 Spain's Diego Lillo in his opening match despite taking the first and third games. Lillo edged the decider 11-8 to seal the win. Later, Mati was outclassed by Japan's Ryoichi Yoshiyama, falling 3-0 in a one-sided contest. And Mati struggled against a Japanese player who dominated both serve and return. The tournament features top global talents, including world number 9 Satsuki Odo. Well, that's all on the news at this hour. But before we go, let's take another look at some of our major stories. Now, we told you that following coordinated operations in Delta and Kaduna states, police reportedly killed 7 suspected kidnappers. We also mentioned that PDP stakeholders demand zoning of the presidential candidate position for 2027 elections to southern Nigeria. And finally, we mentioned memorial service for former Zambian President Edgar Lungu underway in Pretoria. Remember, you may send your eyewitness report to the WhatsApp number on the screen. Also, do well to follow us on social media. We are at News Central TV. You You can watch News Central live on DSTV channel 422, GoTV channel 23, StarTimes channel 274, Avo TV and YouTube. Many thanks for watching. I'm Blessings Wasugu.